my general perspective of my life, of my experience, of everything that's happening to me right now, is pretty neutral, pretty mediocre most of the time, So I'll be sitting in a classroom and I'll be like, yep, I'm in a classroom, this is pretty cool, learning some things, listening to the professor, blah, blah, blah. I'll be walking down the street and I'll be thinking, hey, this is cool, man, I'm getting some fresh air, I like those trees over there, things like that, right? And that's the neutral perspective. Sometimes you can also have a shittier perspective, which is usually really negative. I'm sitting in a classroom thinking, man, this sucks, this class is boring, I really wish I wasn't here. I'm walking down the street and I'm thinking, man, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I don't want to be walking down the street right now, right? There's those two perspectives. But then there's this other perspective, that sometimes I'm able to acquire. And I like to call it the perspective of God. Because God's perspective of everything that exists, God's perspective of my fingernail is like, whoa, holy shit! That's literally what God says about my fingernail. That's what I think. Because God knows everything and He is everything and He's around. It's just like, it's impossible to describe, but I feel like God's perspective is something that is just like, it's just a snap. Everything is a snap to Him. It's just like, sometimes I like to force myself into this kind of perspective, into the fact that, okay, 13.7 billion years ago there was a fucking explosion, all these rocks and crazy chemicals started going around and shit, blah, 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 and then all this time later on, all of a sudden there's the Earth, the Earth was a piece of rock, and blah, and all these fucking things started to happen, and now it's 2014, and here I am. After all this fucking time has happened, all this shit has happened, here I am, man. And what the fuck am I supposed to do now, Having a perspective that's like God would be something like, I'm wearing this t-shirt right now, right? And instead of looking at it just as a t-shirt, you think, oh my God, this is the most amazing fucking t-shirt. I love the way it feels, the way it sounds, the way it looks, the way it's placed on my body, everything, man. You're sitting in a classroom and you look at all these people. You're sitting on the bus, you look at all the people at the bus or at work, and you think, these are all gods, man. I mean, if you look at it from the perspective of an ant, for example, they would look at us and be like, that is God. You bring your perspective into such a little thing, you worry about such a stupid little problem, or some feeling that you may have. When in reality, this is not you, man. This little perspective that you may have, or that I may have, this is not me. I need to broaden it and realize that there's so much more to what I am perceiving.